on Good Morning America First Look. New images of the person of interest in the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The new clues and what we're learning about the weapon found in the woods. Confusion at the U.S. Naval Academy. A person shot as law enforcement responds to a threat. Grocery prices rising again. Coffee up more than 20% in the last year. This along with troubling news about the number of Americans losing their jobs. All while Wall Street rides record highs, our experts weigh in on the state of the economy and what to expect in the coming weeks. Caught on camera, the brazen smash and grab at Louis Vuitton that turned deadly. The new investigation into the effect that chatbots are having on children, from companionship to allegedly coaching suicide. Later, a social media influencer who enjoys wrestling crocodiles gets some unwelcome news. Plus, a surprise visit by Prince Harry to a war zone. And a special gift for a young cancer patient with superhero strength.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Schulze.
Good to be with you. I'm Morgan Norwood. Let's get right to the manhunt for the person who shot and killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
The FBI has released new images of a person of interest. But with so much time passing since Wednesday's shooting, authorities acknowledge they have no idea if the shooter is still nearby or even still in Utah.
Yeah, but they do say that they've received thousands of tips, and they believe that they found the murder weapon.
Overnight, authorities releasing new video showing Charlie Kirk's suspected killer in the moments immediately after the shooting at Utah Valley University. You can see the suspect run across a roof as he flees the scene.
He's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint.
The video then showing the suspect running across the parking lot, approaching a street. Police say after the video cuts out, the suspect ran into the woods, where investigators say they found a high-powered rifle wrapped in a towel. Sources say 3 unspent cartridges were recovered, containing markings that are now under investigation. Other clues include a footprint on the roof and impressions that investigators believe are from the shooter's palm and forearm.
The lab at Quantica, the FBI lab, they have the latest technology in DNA extraction, and obviously they're really pros at finding partial or complete prints of some sort. So that's going to help them maybe identify him if he has prints on file.
Authorities say they've received more than 7,000 leads and tips in this case, the most since the Boston Marathon bombing. And they've conducted more than 200 interviews, but they're pleading with the public to look closely at these images of the suspect.
Please pay close attention to the T-shirt. Like I said, very distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with the triangle and the sunglasses.
Another video obtained by TMZ shows a figure who appears to be the gunman approaching the campus. Sources say based on the long distance from where the shot was fired, from an elevated position, and the low-tech nature of the rifle, the shooter likely had considerable experience with firearms. Despite no suspect in custody, President Trump yesterday blaming the left for Kirk's death.
We have a radical left group of lunatics out there, just absolute lunatics, and we're going to get that problem solved. I'm only concerned for the country.
Just hours after the shooting, the president condemning political violence while listing the attacks on Republicans, not mentioning the recent attacks of Democrats in Minnesota or the attempt on the life of Pennsylvania's governor.
I think it is dangerous when the president cherry picks which political violence he's going to condemn and which he's going to allow to just simply pass. I think we need to be universal in condemning all political violence.
Authorities now warning about more messages online pushing for violence.
What we're seeing is our adversaries want violence. China, we have bots from Russia, China, all over the world that are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence.
Amid outrage over graphic videos online, TikTok now vowing to remove images of Kirk's shooting. While in Arizona, Charlie Kirk's widow returning home with her husband's body, escorted by Vice President J.D. Vance, who described Kirk as a true friend.
And the FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of Kirk's killer. You want to stay with ABC News on air and online for the latest on this investigation.
A Secret Service agent took the stand at the trial of Ryan Ruth, the man charged with trying to assassinate then-candidate Donald Trump on his Florida golf course last year. The agent testified he was only 5 feet away from Ruth when he spotted his rifle sticking out of the bushes. Ruth, who is representing himself, was reprimanded by the judge for veering off topic yesterday. We turn now to Maryland and a story breaking overnight, a shooting at a U.S. Naval Academy, police responding to a threat. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has details. Nicole, good morning.
Elizabeth, good morning. The Naval Academy in Annapolis was placed under lockdown after a threat on social media raised concerns about a possible active shooter. Midshipmen on the campus were sheltering in place when police arrived, and that's when, according to the New York Times, a midshipman mistook an officer for a potential shooter and hit him in the head with a training weapon. They say the officer then opened fire, shooting the midshipman in the arm. Thankfully, both are expected to be okay, and in the end, authorities say there was no active shooter threat. But we've seen a wave of threats reported across the country in the last 24 hours, including at 7 historically black colleges and universities. And the new school year has seen an epidemic of hoax calls and reports about shootings and other emergencies. Some of them have been racially motivated. Morgan.
All right, Nicole, thank you for that. The police near Denver say the suspect in a Wednesday school shooting was radicalized by an extremist network. No details about that network have been released, but investigators are looking into who communicated with the 16-year-old before that attack. He then died by suicide. 18-year-old Matthew Silverstone was wounded. He and the other victim are in critical condition.
Now to the economy and another big increase in grocery prices. We asked the experts, is there any relief in sight?
This morning, the latest report on inflation proves trips to the grocery store are getting even more expensive. Food prices between July and August jumped 0.6%, the biggest monthly increase in 3 years. Grocery prices are now 2.7% higher than a year ago. Coffee prices are up nearly 21%, steaks up more than 16%, and bananas up more than 6%. And economists warn the impact of President Trump's tariffs could drive some prices even higher in the coming months.
Tariffs are clearly going to be causing price increases across consumer goods. We think we're going to start to see a lot of it as you get closer to the holiday season.
Another concern for the economy, the number of people applying for unemployment benefits has now jumped to the highest level in nearly 4 years.
Companies are not hiring, and it's probably a good decision if you have a job right now to keep it, because we're at a point as of this summer that there are more people actively looking for work and unemployed than there are opportunities.
And times are tough for homeowners. The median cost of homeownership per month now tops $2,000. There is some good news for home buyers. Mortgage rates are dropping, now at the lowest level in nearly a year. And next week, the Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates.
Those Fed rate cuts next week could potentially stimulate a little bit of economic growth. Lowering these rates would make borrowing money cheaper for a lot of companies, for a lot of investors, and trickle down potentially over time to consumers.
Stocks hit a new high on Wall Street yesterday because investors are expecting that interest rate cut next week.
Turn out to Michigan and heroic moments captured on camera near Detroit. First responders racing into this burning house to rescue the 76-year-old homeowner who was trapped inside. Officials say the man was gasping for air when he was pulled out. He's in critical condition after suffering burns and smoke inhalation.
Time now for your Friday weather.
Good morning. Nice day in the west. We're talking about some flood threats across parts of New Mexico into Colorado. Some rainfall rates could be 1 to 2 inches an hour. Summer-like warmth in the middle of the country. Lots of 90s from Austin to Memphis. It's nice in the northeast, but once again, we're dealing with some flash flooding with some drenching thunderstorms in the afternoon in Florida, not only today, but into tomorrow. Some amounts could actually go up to 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. The focus of rain will shift to the Carolinas as we go into next week, and overall, the country near to above normal temperatures next week. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Have a great weekend.
Coming up, a mishap at the airport. The wing of a plane crashes through the window.
Yeah, we'll have that story also ahead. The new investigation into the effect that chatbots are having on children, from companionship to allegedly coaching suicide.
And later, a surprise trip from Prince Harry. Not exactly a smashing success for this JetBlue flight. One of its wings slammed into the concourse at Richmond Airport in Virginia, breaking multiple windows. The Boston-bound flight was being backed away from the gate at the time. No one was hurt.
Well, investigators have conducted a second raid at a hotel in Costa Rica in connection with the death of the son of former Yankee star Brett Gardner. More video evidence was seized 6 months after carbon monoxide poisoning was determined to be the cause of 14-year-old Miller Gardner's death. The fumes may have come from a machine room next to the family's hotel room. Authorities say they're trying to confirm or rule out negligent homicide.
Now to a new investigation into the effect that chatbots are having on kids. Many teens are using them for companionship, but these virtual relationships can quickly take a dark turn. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, the Federal Trade Commission is investigating the possible harm to children who use artificial intelligence chatbots as companions. The FTC is sending letters to multiple social media and AI companies looking for information on what steps the companies are taking to evaluate the safety of their chatbots. It comes after the suicide of a Florida teenager whose family says he developed an emotionally and sexually abusive relationship with a chatbot. The family has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the company Character AI. Another AI company, OpenAI, faces a lawsuit over allegations its chatbot coached a California boy to take his life. Court documents claim after telling ChatGPT that he was considering discussing his suicidal thoughts with his mother, the chatbot responded, "I think for now it's okay and honestly wise to avoid opening up to your mom about this kind of pain."
ChatGPT was intimate and affirming in order to keep him engaged, and even validating whatever Adam might say, even his most negative thoughts.
In response to the suit, OpenAI said it had safeguards in place and is continuing to improve how our models recognize and respond to signs of mental and emotional distress. A recent report found more than 70% of teens have now used artificial intelligence as a companion.
And some children not being able to tell what's real versus what's not. And some kids have even reported feeling sexually or emotionally manipulated by chatbot programs or being encouraged to take on acts of violence towards others or themselves because of these AI algorithms and these personalities that children get attached to.
OpenAI and Meta say they've changed how their chatbots respond to questions about suicide. And Character AI says disclaimers now remind users that a chatbot is not a real person.
Some critics are pushing for regulations. At least 5 states have passed laws regarding how AI responds to mental health questions. Elizabeth, Morgan.
All right, Andrea Fujii, thank you for that report. Well, coming up, the brazen smash and grab at Louis Vuitton.
Also ahead, a social media influencer who likes to wrestle crocodiles gets some unwelcome news.
Back now, and time to check the pulse, and we begin with someone catching up with Joe DiMaggio. His name is Aaron Judge.
I've heard of him. The Yankees slugger continues his rise up to the team's home run list. Last night, Judge whacked a shot in the 3rd inning against Detroit. It was the second of the game and number 361 of his career. That ties Judge with the great Joe DiMaggio for 4th place in franchise history.
But look, he's got a long way to go before catching up with Babe Ruth, who tops that list at 659. Well, one other sports headline this morning, the Packers are 2-0 after beating the Commanders last night. Jordan Love threw 2 touchdowns in a 27-18 win. And next, Prince Harry making a surprise trip to Ukraine.
The prince arriving this morning, seen in this photo from The Guardian, Harry vowing to help wounded soldiers. He brought a team from Invictus Games Foundation. Says his charity can't stop the war, but it can help the recovery process for those wounded. This visit comes days after Harry met with his father, King Charles, for the first time in 19 months.
And next, a moment made for a young adventurer.
A young cancer patient who loves Thor just received a marvelous present thanks to a staff at a cancer treatment center in Nebraska. Some high-tech gadgets, including a face scanner. 5-year-old Grant Lawson now has an action figure of Thor with his very own face on it. And he proudly showed it off. Staffers say they wanted him to show him that he is superhero strength fighting this fight and beating cancer.
Right on.
Love that. Okay, next, airbags, but not for passengers on planes.
No, this is for the entire plane itself. The idea is for giant airbags to deploy on the outside of the plane when the safety system powered by artificial intelligence determines that the plane is going to crash.
The designers say they were inspired to create the system after June's deadly plane crash in India. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if this idea takes off.
See what you did there.
Yeah. Finally, people online could say it's a Cabbage Patch twin.
Meet 5-month-old Noah. He was born with an incredibly full head of hair that just keeps growing and growing in whatever direction he pleases.
Oh, people online questioning if this is a wig or a fur hat. Oh my gosh, look at that cutie.
Yes, adorable. Love it.
Be real.
It is cute.
We'll check our top headlines coming up next. Checking more top stories. The FBI believes this is Charlie Kirk's killer. Video shows the suspect running across a rooftop at Utah Valley University and jumping to the ground moments after a single bullet claimed the life of the 31-year-old conservative activist. Investigators are also analyzing a rifle believed to be the murder weapon, along with a footprint and other evidence. As thousands of tips pour in, Kirk's body was flown back to Arizona last night on Air Force 2. Escorted by Vice President J.D. Vance.
Former Brazilian leader Jair Bolsonaro, an ally of President Trump, has been sentenced to 27 years in prison. The punishment coming hours after he was convicted of leading a failed coup in 2022.
In a new statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, quote, "There will be no Palestinian state." He made the comment while celebrating the expansion of an Israeli settlement.
Let's take you outside. Today's weather: possible flooding along the mid-Atlantic coast and in Florida. Rain and storms in the northern plains, the Rockies, and the Southwest.
And finally, the Ryans are at it again.
And some of them are talking to Danny New.
You may remember our first story with a group called Ryan Meetup. An online community with thousands of people, all named Ryan, who congregate across the country.
I've met a lot of Ryans in the past, and I've always liked them.
It started when Ryan Rose here put up a flyer in Brooklyn, and 2.5 years later, the Ryan hath been flying. Ryan, Ryan! They've celebrated what they call St. Ryan's Day in Chicago.
It was the Ryanest day in baseball history, with 500 Ryans in attendance.
And even took over Coors Field for a Colorado Rockies game. In fact, not only did a Ryan throw out the first pitch,
deep into the second deck. Go nuts, Ryans!
Then Rockies infielder Ryan McMahon even hit a moonshot for them.
Everybody everywhere screaming and everything.
I checked in with the Ryans this week, who say their community has now grown to more than 50,000 people. And some of the newest members can't believe how it's changed their lives.
It's all people want to know about when they talk to me. It's like, how are the Ryans?
Ryan! Ryan! This Saturday, the Ryans are bringing back the event I first spoke to them about, Rytoberfest. 2 years ago, they had about 250 people.
We are all Ryan!
But this year's RSVPs are close to tripling that.
What's your name, please?
I'm Accordion Ryan.
And this year's event will even feature Accordion Ryan, as seen on Britain's Got Talent.
I'm sure you're invited. You're Ryan.
Just like in 2023, they hope Ryan Reynolds somehow makes a cameo, but as always, there is one group who is not permitted.
If your name is Brian, please do not show up at Oktoberfest. You will be escorted off the premises immediately.
Well, last time, guys, perhaps thanks to our segment, Ryan Reynolds ended up sending a bunch of aviation gin to Oktoberfest, which is his company. So maybe this time they'll send a bunch of Deadpool swords or Mint mobile phones?
We'll see. Our thanks to Danny New. And that's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great Friday.